Hey love, hey love, hey love. So I finally grabbed the courage to go ahead and read chapter 2 of the new menopause book because I've been bothered since yesterday, especially with seeing that 39 of the symptoms, I have them and have had them for quite some time. And one of the symptoms it didn't say was a lack of desire for sex. So that means at least 40. Let's get into chapter 2. It's not a bad chapter. I'm going to read something from a lady named Beverly W. first. She says, I officially entered menopause in October 2022 at the age of 56. For the last year, I have experienced terrible joint pain despite being at a normal weight, overall healthy, eating a healthy, anti-inflammatory diet, and exercising several times a week. My primary care doctor did all sorts of labs, including testing for inflammation and rheumatoid arthritis. All results were normal. My cholesterol was high for the first time in my life, and she told me to continue working on my already healthful diet. An orthopedic surgeon I saw about my joint pain told me I'm just unlucky. Neither doctor ever put together that my joint pain or high cholesterol could have had anything to do with menopause or the lack of estrogen. Earlier this year, after being told I had diabetes, my cholesterol was high, and I have joint pain, not including from the hip surgeries that I've had previously. The female reproductive system is made up of a dependable team: the vagina, cervix, uterus, ovaries, fallopian tubes, and some ancillary yet equally essential teammates that facilitate menstruation, support the development of a human being from embryo to newborn, and represent the parts of the anatomy that grant us the gift of sexual pleasure. The uterus is a small and hollow, multi-layered muscular organ that expands up to 500 times its volume capacity during pregnancy. Or the ovaries, the almond-shaped sized glands that at birth hold between 1 and 2 million oocytes or eggs. All are our unique genetic material. Ovaries produce hormones that regulate the menstrual cycle and maintain fertility. They're the central organ in the production of estrogen. Estrogen, it's important to the health of our breasts, skin, hair, heart, and blood vessels, brain, and more. Estrogen levels fluctuate throughout our lives, rising and lowering each time we menstruate, during pregnancy, after puberty. It's naturally suppressed or diminished during postpartum and menopause. No, men, you do not go through postpartum. Estrogen, the first, is to allow for lactation. The second is a result of what medicine calls ovarian failure. They bring very similar metabolic changes. Both breastfeeding and menopausal in women experience the joys, so-called joys, of sleepless nights, hot flashes, dry vaginas, anxiety, and brain fog. When estrogen diminishes, there's a living being needing great care. That's you. Great self-care. Menopause came about because of French physician Charles Pierre Louis Desjardins. It's a mashup of the word meno, meaning month, relating to the moon, and pause, as in the stopping of something. The word literally means the end of your monthly cycle. The average life expectancy for women today is 79. I think that's a little low. The average age of menopause is 51, which means that most likely I would just now be going into menopause. Maybe. Oh boy. Researchers published in the New England Journal of Medicine the results of their study on menopausal and postmenopausal women with a uterus Compared to those who had exposure to estrogen therapy to those who had not been taking estrogen, the former had an increased risk of developing endometrial cancer. The risks of malignancy in the endometrium were serious, yet the benefits were still there. Reduced hot flashes and vaginal dryness, and a potential promising link to preventing bone loss and osteoporosis. A way to lessen the risk of endometrial cancer by adding a progestin, a form of progesterone, induced changes and counteract the estrogen-induced changes in the endometrial lining. The National Institute of Health statement that taking estrogen was the best way to prevent bone loss in menopausal women, and research showing a cardioprotective aspect of estrogen was building. Was it possible that hormone replacement therapy could prolong a woman's life? Some studies suggested yes. One observational study showed 33% less fatal heart disease in women using estrogen therapy versus those who did not. MHT, the menopausal hormone therapy. By the mid-1990s, 38% of women ages 50 to 75 were taking hormone replacement therapy. In 98, the Women's Health Initiative launched menopausal hormone therapy trials to evaluate MHT and its effect on cardiovascular disease and cancer in postmenopausal women. With 27,000 participants and a planned 15-year duration. What would that be? 2013? It was part of the largest women's health prevention study ever. And what happened next changed the course of the use of hormone replacement therapy and altered the lives of an incalculable number of menopausal women. Chapter 3 is its own chapter about that. And I haven't read it yet, so maybe I'll read chapter 3 tomorrow. Depending on how long it is, maybe I'll read chapter 4. I do hope that you're learning something from this and that it's helping you. By chapter 7, supposedly, we'll learn ways to help during this transition. But I'm noticing she's talking about women who have their sexual organs still, whereas I do not. Maybe she'll get to that. I don't know. But looky here. Thank you for gifting me with some of your time. Thank you for commenting. Thank you for saving and sharing. If you do that, I appreciate you as always. Make it a lovely day, not just for you. Help someone else have a lovely day too. Be love.